brace yourself. We're gonna make the ultimate Beastmaster Ranger for Dungeons and Dragons. We're not gonna just make one of them, we're gonna make 3 of them. We're gonna make a dual-wielding damage machine, dishing out the damage with a beast at their side. We're gonna make a scout archer shooting from the distance, doing massive damage with a beast swooping in, cutting your opponents to shreds. And we're gonna make a 3rd one. Well, you'll have to watch to the end for the 3rd one. It might be the coolest Beastmaster ever. Before we go any further, please subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and we have a truckload of content that we're sure you'll love. And head to our Patreon page to download the first level versions of all 3 of these characters for free. Link is in the video description. Ranger Core 101. Rangers are a fighter class, so they get decent hit points. Not as many as barbarians, but still pretty good. They can use light and medium armor, so they have decent armor class. They get access to spells, and they get good skills. In fact, the only class that gets more skills than a ranger is a rogue. You could kind of consider them 50% fighter, 30% rogue, 20% spellcaster. Now, a key feature that goes through all rangers is something called favorite enemy, and it's been completely reworked in the new rules of Dungeons and Dragons. What it allows you to do now is to cast the spell Hunter's Mark for free a certain number of times between long rests. And what Hunter's Mark does is when you hit with it, you get to roll an extra damage dice. This is at the heart of why Rangers are such damage machines. And as you level up your Ranger, the Hunter's Mark becomes more and more powerful. In terms of the 6 base stats, Dexterity and Wisdom are the 2 most important for all of these Beastmaster Rangers. Dexterity because of stealth plus also all the attacks, and Wisdom is what the beasts use for their abilities. Constitution is the next most important, then Strength, and Intelligence and Charisma really don't matter at all, so you can just dump them. Number 1, dual-wielding Beastmaster. The whole concept of this character is to get the maximum number of attacks you can per round at the front line of combat. First thing to understand is the baseline rules for dual-wielding weapons in Dungeons & Dragons. Anyone can do it, they just might not be very good at it. The rules are that if you want to attack twice in a round, your second attack, well, they have to be with light weapons, and your second attack has to be a bonus action, and that second attack bonus action doesn't get to add your stat modifier onto the damage. Now, this Ranger breaks all those rules, so check it out. The first decision you have to make when you choose Ranger as a class is what weapon masteries you want to have, and you get to choose 2. This character must choose Short Sword and Scimitar. What Short Sword weapon mastery allows is that if you hit, the next attack that you hit with is at advantage. Scimitar weapon mastery allows you to make your second attack not as a bonus action, but in your normal action. In other words, you get both attacks and you still have your bonus action free. Therefore, you always attack Short Sword first, Scimitar second. For background, we're gonna go Farmer. Not only does Farmer give you the animal handling and nature skills, but it gives you the feat toughness. And all of a sudden, this Ranger has almost as many hit points as a barbarian. And we're gonna make the Ranger a human. For the bonus feat that the human gets, we're gonna get Savage Attacker. What that allows you to do is once a round, when you're rolling damage, you get to roll the damage twice and choose the better one. It's a huge buff to damage. At second level, choose the 2-weapon fighting style. It allows you to add your ability score damage onto your second attack. At third level, choose the subclass Beastmaster. Well, that's what this whole video is about. You can choose a beast of the land, beast of the air, or a beast of the sea. For this build, we're looking at a beast of the land most of the time. It could be a mastiff, a boar, a panther, a medium-sized land creature. So the cool thing is that Beastmasters can use their bonus action to get their beast to do an attack. So at third level, this character already has 3 attacks per round. There's Short Sword, their freebie Scimitar, and then the bonus action of the beast. At fourth level, you get a new feat or ability score increase. We're going to take the Sentinel feat. What it allows you to do is if someone attacks an ally next to you, for example, your beast, you can immediately take an opportunity attack against them. It also means that if someone tries to get away from you and you hit them with an opportunity attack, they don't move away, they get stuck there. Now, potentially, this character is making 4 attacks a round. At 5th level, you get an extra attack. So it goes, extra attack is your Short Sword, which then gives advantage to your action attack, which is short sword, which then gives advantage to your freebie of scimitar, and then your bonus action of your beast attack. And of course, if someone does an opportunity attack thing like the sentinel thing, you get an extra attack, which means you're potentially doing 5 attacks a round. And because of Hunter's Mark, each of those attacks, other than the beast attacks, gets an extra dice damage onto it. It is insane. The next time you need to make a decision is 8th level, when you get another feat or ability score increase, and this time we are going to do ability score increase, and we're going to put it on dexterity, raising it to 18, because that gives an extra +1 damage and +1 to hit with all weapon attacks. Also makes things like stealth better. By the time the character hits 10th level, they have 104 hit points, which is very respectable. And every time they hit with a short sword or a scimitar, they're doing 11 hit points damage. So if they land all 3 of those, that's 33 hit points damage, plus their beast on average is going to do 8 hit points damage, which means they can potentially be doing on average 41 hit points damage average per round. Beastmaster number 2. This character is a stealthy scout that does huge damage from a distance with a bow and has a beast of the air swooping in, causing chaos. At level 1, with weapon mastery, choose longbow. Every time you hit with a longbow, it reduces the speed of your target by 10 feet. And also then just choose any old light melee weapon that you want. With the background, we're going for soldier. It gives you the feat Savage Attacker, which we covered in the previous character. Savage Attacker means once a turn, when you roll damage, you can roll the damage twice and take the better of the 2. And for this character's species, we're going to go for Wood Elf because it gives extra movement and dark vision and some helpful spells. At 2nd level, we're choosing the fighting style Archery, which gives a +2 to hit with bows, and so now this character at 2nd level is already +7 to hit with a bow. Level 3, choose the subclass Beastmaster, of course, that's why we're here. Most of the time, this ranger is going to have a Beast of the Sky beast. They have a cool ability called Flyby, which allows it, with its 60 feet of flight movement, to fly in, attack, and fly away without the opponent being able to swing at it and get an opportunity attack. At 4th level, you get to have another feat or an ability score increase. We're going to take Sharpshooter. Not only does it improve dexterity by 1, but also means that archery shots at point blank range or at long range do not give disadvantage on the attacks. This archer just got a truckload more accurate. At 5th level, you get an extra attack, which means you're getting 2 bow attacks a round plus the Beast of the Sky, so 3 attacks a round. Thanks to Savage Attack, the first of those attacks is on average going to do 14 hit points damage. The second one is going to do on average 12 hit points damage, and the Beast on average is going to do 7 hit points damage, which means already at 5th level, this character is averaging 33 hit points damage a turn if all the shots land. 8th level is the next significant decision. It's another ability score increase or feat. Choose an ability score increase and pump it up to dexterity to take dexterity all the way up to 20. So by the time this character is 10th level, they're sitting on 84 hit points, which is very respectable. Their stealth is +13, their perception +10, their bow is +11, and they're dealing on average 35 hit points a round, which may be not as much as the dual wielder, but they can do it from 300 feet away and attack anyone on the battlefield. Very, very cool character. Bonus Beastmaster number 3, Halfling Beast Rider. This character is so much fun. Halfling zipping around the battlefield, knocking the opponents over with the beast, and then finishing them off with the sword. The weapon masteries to choose for this are short bow and short sword. Choose the Wayfarer background and choose the Halfling species. What Halfling gives you is the luck ability. The luck of Halflings means that anytime you roll a 1 on a d20 roll, you get to roll it again. And Wayfarer has the lucky feat, which means you get a pool of luck points, which you can spend to give advantage on your attacks or disadvantage on another character. In terms of equipment, choose short sword, shield, and studded leather. It's all going to make sense in a moment. 2nd level, choose dueling, which gives +2 damage with the short sword. 3rd level, we're choosing the Beastmaster subclass, of course. And we're doing that so that we can get a beast of the land so the halfling can ride on top of it. So let's quickly look at the mounted combat rules. Basically, it says that you can ride on a mount as long as that creature is a size larger than you, and since the halfling is small and the beasts of the land are medium, it works just fine. Okay, here's when it gets really fun. Beasts of the land have an ability that they can knock opponents down. If they travel 20 feet in a straight line towards them and hit, they get to do an extra d6 damage, and their opponent, if it's large size or smaller, is immediately knocked down. No saving throw, they're down, bam! And they're prone, which means all attacks against it are at advantage, including the halfling sword and all your teammates. So how you use this is at the beginning of combat. The first round, what you do is you line up the charge and you cast Hunter's Mark. And then when you charge in, have a teamed plan that when you knock someone down, the rest of your team focuses and takes out that target together. 4th level, choose the Charger feat. It is ridiculously fun. Not only does your dexterity go up by 1, but if you hit, you can choose to either do an extra 1d8 damage or push your target back 10 feet as long as they're large size or smaller. Most of the time, because your beast is going to be knocking them prone, you're not going to be pushing them back because that just doesn't make sense. So most of the time you're just going to be doing the extra damage. But of course, if they're standing on a cliff or next to a pit of lava, you might want to knock them back. At 5th level, you get an extra attack. So now 2 short sword attacks plus the beast's attack. You're sitting on 18 armor class, which is very respectable, and 44 hit points, which is also respectable. When you're preparing spells, I suggest that you choose either healing spells or movement-based spells. For example, Longstrider, if cast on your beast, gives them an extra 10 feet movement each round. The next significant choice is at 8th level, and we're going to choose the feat Mounted Combatant. It does a few things, but the most important thing for us is that it helps to protect your mount against dexterity saving throw attacks, and also if your mount does get hit, you can choose that the damage hits you instead of your beast. By the time this ranger is 10th level, they have 84 hit points, 18 armor class, their stealth is plus 12, and they're doing an average of 13 hit points damage, which each of their 2 short sword attacks plus an average of 8 hit points damage from their beast, 34 hit points damage a turn, plus they're knocking people over, they're pushing them around, and they're zipping all over the battlefield. Very, very fun. So there you go, 3 of the coolest rangers you will ever play. Which one do you think you like the look of most? If you want to see a Beastmaster in action, check out Frank in the Dice Legenz series Hunted of Kalnur. Now don't forget to head over to our Patreon page. You can get some additional exclusive content. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time.